Dr. Kaplan, thank you very much for the information. We appreciate it.
You got it, Jay.
Jose writes the show, the Cowboys only lost to the Patriots and Brady, while Green Bay lost to the Bears. Brian Greasy and the Bears, and I think Romo is a little better than Greasy.
That's flawed logic. Next.
Yeah, you cannot use that kind of logic in picking winners in the NFL. I think because if that's the case, the Jets are better than the Steelers. I don't know. I think the Packers win tonight. What Brett Favre has done so far this year is amazing and very surprising. It kind of reminds me of Jack Nicklaus at the '86 Masters. That is a good analogy. You know, people had written off Jack, and he came back to
So now we're putting Favre in the same sentence with Nicklaus.
Yeah, so Nicklaus,
good, huh?
Clemens.
Yeah.
Who else did it? Michael Jordan.
Right.
Wow.
Next.
Truly a legend. You love this one, right?
Yeah.
From Robert. Brett Favre in the same sentence with Michael Jordan, please. Mike has 6 rings and Brett has 1. All right, let's dive into second down, shall we? And we're going to do it with perhaps another rules violation by the New England Patriots. This was brought up in an article in today's USA Today from Jarrett Bell. Now, the Patriots apparently have some sort of system where the players police themselves. It's basically akin to kangaroo court in baseball, if you're familiar with that. They hand out fines for various infractions, and then they put the money into a pot, and basically it goes to the player which the team determines had the best game that week. Now, Jarrett Bell ends the column with a very interesting line. Let's throw this up, because it puts it into perspective. One problem, it's also a violation of NFL policy. But that's an issue for someone else to police. Skip?
Well, Jay, I'll police it for you.
Go ahead, I knew you would.
Unfortunately, Jalen, I have a problem with this because the rule is the rule for a reason. And the New England Patriots, of all under-the-microscope teams because of Spygate, should have known better. And I'm very surprised they were so open because they're such a guarded team. And talking to Jarrett Bell about this story, number one, the NFL doesn't want these little motivational bonuses to turn into bounties where you say, oh, the next guy to knock Peyton Manning out of the game gets the pot this time. That's number one. And number two, the NFL wants to prevent an owner from getting involved in sweetening said pot, and it can circumvent the salary cap as a bonus to a player.
We never said anything about the team giving out money. We talking about players giving money to each other.
Yep.
Can't players do whatever they want to do with their money?
But how do you know that the owner and GM doesn't get involved?
And it doesn't work against the salary cap? I understand the situation when you talk about a team giving a player money that goes over the cap, but players should be able to do what they want to do with their money. From now on, I guess it's going to be against the rules to bet for the NCAA tournament. Is that over the salary cap? I did the same thing as a Chicago Bull. I had 2 young big men, Tyson Chandler and Eddie Curry. Right. Tyson was a great rebounder. Eddie was a great scorer. So you know what I did? I gave each of them $500 every time they got a double-double. It happens in the NBA all the time.
You must have been making a lot of money.
Yeah, I made a couple of dollars in the league now. And it's the same thing. Great teams have veterans that police each other.
So you're saying that it shouldn't be against NFL regulations?
Not at all. I mean, we just trying to find needles in the haystack when it comes to the Patriots.
And that's kind of what you're doing. I mean, you're saying by the letter of the law that it's wrong.
I understand the spirit of what you're saying, and I'm with you on that. And remember, this came up with the Green Bay Packers just a couple of weeks ago. So the New England Patriots should have been smart enough at least not to talk about it, because our point that day was, well, unfortunately for the Packers, it got in the newspaper.
There are teams and players in the NBA that give each other money for taking a charge, or if a guy's late for a meeting, you do a half-court shot and everybody that makes the shot gets the pot. Yeah. It's just camaraderie. It's fun. These are guys that are making millions of dollars. Let them do what they want to do with their money.
New England is on probation right now, just in effect, not seriously, but you know, they're under the microscope.
It's like double secret probation from Animal House.
Kind of is.
You know, they have been reprimanded.
I don't know. They may get more than a wrist slap for this.
The irony here is, and I've talked to other pro athletes that all say this, they're paid millions of dollars, but sometimes that $500 from Jalen
it means
actually means more to them because it's coming out of your pocket.
Absolutely. It means a ton, and you know this. If my team, Michigan, is playing against Ohio State and we bet $500, that means a lot to me to get that money.
Absolutely.
It means just as much as my paycheck that day.
Absolutely. All right, let's stay with the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick is not one to heap praise on any football player, particularly one that's not on his football team. But I think he has a bit of a man crush on Ed Reed. Listen to Bill gush about the very talented defensive back.
I couldn't say enough complimentary things about Ed Reed as a football player. His intelligence, his skill, his playmaking ability, his ability to do things back there. I mean, I've seen some good free safeties, and they may have some elements of his game, but I think he has, you know, he pretty much has it all.
He wants to adopt Ed Reed. Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's going to be Ed Belichick.
Oh, Ed Belichick. He does have that Belichick style. He plays very hard, very smart. What do you make of these comments?
First off, what he's saying about Ed Reed is true. He is the best safety in the game. I was watching the game, and he returned the punt, his first time returning the punt ever. He ran it back for a touchdown. Tremendous player, defensive player of the year. But last time I checked, they have another defensive player on that defense of the year named Ray Lewis, who got into a certain incident with Adelius Thomas, who plays for the New England Patriots. Is that a slight shot at Super Ray?
Slight shot?
Sweet.
Is it? Is it?
I think it is? So. I think Ray Lewis is going to come out motivated behind this because Ray Lewis is saying, you know what? That's not the only great defensive player on this team. I got into it with one of your teammates this year, and you didn't mention me in the press conference, even though you don't compliment Tom Brady. You compliment Ed Reed when I compliment me.
Yeah, Jalen, that is a provocative take, and it is provocatively wrong. Because
I agree with it.
Ray Lewis today is a shell of the 2000 Ray Lewis, who was on what I thought maybe was the most dominating
which is
defense.
why maybe he can rattle his cage and get away with it.
Okay, and remember, even in 2000, Ray Lewis, and Belichick certainly knows this, he had those giant elephants at the defensive tackles who protected him and let him attack the ball carrier at will. Ed Reed, meanwhile, is on his way not to being the best safety today. I think he's on the way to being the best safety ever when it comes to instincts, quickness, speed, hands, ball hawking, disrupting.
Absolutely.
I have never seen anything like it before, so I think Belichick is just being honest for once. He's just, I think he is completely smitten with this guy.
He's so calculated, though.
And also, if you Ed Reed, you better get a good night's rest Saturday because they know you that good, which means what? They're going after you on Sunday. And I totally agree. Ed Reed is a tremendous safety, the best in the game.
Final point, the one guy who should be offended by this comment is Rodney Harrison, because I think he's been pretty close to Ed Reed for the New England Patriots for the last 6 or 7 years. Am I right?
Belichick has a way.
He's pretty good.
Well, maybe he's trying to motivate his own guy here.
Maybe. If there's some method to this, that's the only one I can take.
And don't underestimate the loss of Roosevelt Coleman, too. That's going to be a big loss.
All right, all of that being said, does this have the makings of a trap game? Do the Ravens have any chance at all?
Yes, they do, because they have tremendous pride. And they do have Ray Lewis. They do have Ed Reed. They do have cover corners like McAllister. They have the kind of defense that can get up in the Patriots' face. Do I think the Patriots are going to go undefeated? Yes, I do. But this can be a trap game, absolutely.
Kyle, I should have been a bowler.
You have to score to win.
End of story.
In other words, no, they don't. But keep this in mind, too. This is the Super Bowl for these Baltimore Ravens.
Honestly, I'd let Ed Reed play quarterback. Seriously, run
they might have a better chance. Yeah, they might have a better chance.
You don't think he'd make a play or two?
I think he probably could. Yeah. All right, I've learned 2 things in this segment. Jalen actually has pretty good skipiracies of his own. That was a very good one.
Way out
and
there.
Also, I learned that memo to all NBA players, for this week only, double-doubles are worth $500 for Jalen Rose because he did make some coin when he played. All right, that's going to do it for second down. Ahead in third down, can Donald Driver actually be the more important wide receiver in tonight's Packers-Cowboys game? Skip is shaking his head, yes. Shocking. Also ahead, Brett Favre exceeded everyone's expectations this season, but what does he have to do tonight